Hi, I'm Liz. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to go through a movement practice and a stillness practice today. So combining a little bit of yang, a little bit of yin. So really nice practice to do if you are first of all short on time and you want to get some movement in, and you might feel like you also need to have a nice long stretch. So we're going to be combining some flowing movements and then holding some shapes for a period of time. So beginning, either if you've got a yoga mat, or you might just be somewhere, you might be in your office or just at home in a little space. So you don't actually need a yoga mat, you don't actually need yoga clothes, you just need some space, your body, and something comfortable to wear. So we're going to begin just standing with your feet hip width apart. And so the arms come down by your side and just standing tall. I've got the dogs up here with me, so you might hear them, you might see them walking around. If you feel comfortable closing the eyes down, and take a little moment, just settle yourself into your space wherever you are. Take a few clearing breaths, breathing in through the nose and out of the mouth. In through the nose, out of the mouth. Just doing that a few more times. And as you're breathing in, feeling that breath come into your body, and as you're breathing out, just letting the body kind of relax, but still standing tall. You can almost feel any kind of tension releasing from the body as you breathe out. And then breathing in, breathing out of your nose. And just bringing as much awareness and attention to the breath. And as we start to move, just continuing to focus on the breath, but there's going to be a few things. So we're breathing and then we're moving as well. So a couple of things to be focusing on. Breathing in, reach the arms up, look up if that feels okay. Breathing out, bring the arms back down by your side, chin to chest. Breathing in, reaching the arms up, looking up. Breathing out, bring the hands back down, chin to chest. Continuing on, breathing in. You might find a little back bend happens here as you look up. Breathing out, chin to chest. Might be a slight little rounding through the spine as you look down. Do that 2 more times. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, folding forward, bending through the knees. Allowing the chest to come down towards the thighs. Letting the head hang, letting the shoulders relax. Bending the knees as much as you need to. You might feel this all the way up the back side of the body. Take a breath in. Come to a halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. Breathing out, folding forward. Breathing in, lengthen through the spine. Breathing out, folding forward. Do that 3 more times. Draw the belly in as you lengthen, reaching through the crown of the head. As you breathe out, folding the torso over the thighs, let the head drop down. Breathing in, reaching up, lengthening up. Breathing out, fold. One more time. Lengthening, breathing out, folding forward. We're going to hold here in a dangling position. So again, bend the knees as much as you need to. You might explore this position, maybe shift from foot to foot, maybe from the front of the feet to the back of the feet. Staying connected to the breath. Just paying attention to what you feel and where you feel that in your body. You may find as we hold this shape for time that the sensations start to change. They might get more intense, maybe less intense. They may shift around the body. As much as you can, let the head drop, let the shoulders relax. Keep on breathing nice and smoothly. Take 3 more breaths. Just breathing into the back side of the body and breathing out. You might sink down a little more. And then in your own time, using the breath, coming all the way back to a standing position. You might roll up through the spine. You might come back to that halfway lift and then press through the heels, come all the way to standing. Just take a little moment in your mountain pose, just feeling into what you feel now that you've come out of the shape. So really nice release through the back side of the body, and then also a bit of a compression through the front side of the body. Finding your feet nice and stable on the ground. Take a breath in, reach the arms up, looking up, breathing out, draw the belly in as you fold forward. Breathing in, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Breathing out, plant the hands, step back to plank, press the hips into downward facing dog. Again, you might need to bend your knees heaps to find that length through the spine. You may be able to start to straighten the legs out, but don't get too caught up in having to have the heels on the ground. So main thing is that we can stay long through the spine, drawing the belly button in. Breathing in, roll forward to plank. Breathing out, drop to the knees, bend the elbows, lower halfway down. Hold here for a moment. And then coming into low cobra, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back. Lower the chest down, pressing back to downward facing dog. Let's do that again. Roll the body forward to plank, either now from the knees or the toes. Bend the elbows, lower halfway down. Squeeze the elbows in. Press through the palms, lift the chest, either low cobra or upward facing dog. Good. Press through the palms, lift the chest, squeeze through your butt. Press the hips back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, take the right leg into the air.
opening through the hip. So it's almost like you're trying to bring your right heel to your left glute. Keep pressing through the palms. You might feel a nice lengthening down the front side of your right hip, maybe all the way into the abdomen. Bring the hips back through center. Lightly step the right foot through. Drop down to the left knee. And then we're going to hold here for a moment, kind of in like our dragon shape position. So pressing down through the palms, lift the chest, and then letting the hips sink down towards the ground. So you might feel that now through the front side of your left hip. Let's give it a little extra juice if you want it. Press the top of the left foot down into the floor. Stay nice and long through the spine. Just breathing into this shape. Paying attention to where you feel it. Is it a really deep sensation? Is it more superficial? Take 3 more breaths. And then plant the back foot down, so coming onto the ball of the foot. Lift the left knee. Take a twist to the right side. Bring the right hand back down to the mat. Step the right foot back, downward facing dog. So really pressing the hips up towards the sky or the ceiling. Let the head drop down, bring the eye gaze between the thighs. Rolling forward. So rolling through plank, feeling that nice little flow through the spine from the knees or the toes. Bend the elbows, lower halfway. Lift the chest, upward facing dog. Press the hips back, downward facing dog. Breathing in, take the left leg into the air, opening up through the hip. So we did just get a little release through the front side of the left hip as we had the right foot forward. So getting into that again, pressing through the palms, bring the hips back through to center, lightly step the left foot through, drop the right knee down, and then coming into our dragon. Take your time just finding that position where it's going to be effort from the upper body. So a little bit of yang. And then as much as we can, we're passive through the lower body. So we want to let that sink down towards the ground. It's our yin. We kind of need both of them working together. So it might be really strong sensations. It might be uncomfortable. So we need that little bit of yang, that little bit of warrior spirit to hold these shapes and soften into them. This is why we use the breath. We have that as our focus. And we just explore the sensations.
Hold for 3 more breaths. So we are holding for a little bit shorter time than we would in a usual yin-like practice. You might hold for 5 or 6 minutes, maybe even longer. But just trying to keep this a little bit shorter, so it's a little bit more doable if you are busy. Then lifting through the right knee, take that twist to the left side. Reaching the left arm up, pressing down through the right palm. Bring the left palm back down to the ground. Take the left leg back, pressing into downward facing dog. Bending through the knees, look forward. Step or lightly jump to the top. Halfway lift, forward fold. Coming all the way to standing, reaching the arms up, little back bend here, and then bringing the hands down, around behind your back, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, squeeze the butt, press the hips forward, and then coming back to your mountain pose. Breathing in, reach up, breathing out, fold forward, breathing in, halfway lift, lengthen. Breathing out, plant the hands, step or jump back, bending the elbows, lower halfway. Lift the chest, upward facing dog, press the hips back, downward facing dog. Breathing in, take the right leg into the air. As you breathe out, step the right foot through, coming into warrior 2. So back heel is planted, and it's on about the same kind of length as your mat. If you are on a yoga mat, reach the arms long, sink down into your warrior. Shoulders are down, light core brace, pelvis is tucked under, and then bending through that front knee, pressing through the heel, pressing out through the back edge of your left foot. Good. Take a breath in. Come onto the ball of the left foot. Bring the palms together, reaching them out in front, and then lengthening the body forward. Draw the belly in, reaching as far as you can, and then opening that back into peaceful warrior. Coming down now to side angle, forearm to thigh, reaching the top arm over. You can either stay here, or you might like to bring the hand all the way down to the ground. Just making sure you can stay open through the chest. So top shoulder, bringing it back, reach the top arm over. Bring the palms down to the ground. And we're going to come into sleeping swan. So your right knee is going to come behind your right wrist. Left leg's going to lengthen back, and your right heel is kind of towards your left hip. Just flex the foot slightly to protect the knee. Square the hips as much as you can. I'll give you a different option if you do need it. You may even feel like you need something underneath this hip. So maybe a block, a bolster, or a cushion. Lengthen through the spine. You can stay lifted, or folding that forward, you might come to the forearms. You might come all the way down to the ground. Option, if you need to, is to come into a position like this. So you're going to be sitting on your actual butt. Knee will come, front knee will come out, and then the left knee will come and kind of lining it up, the thigh up with the bottom of the foot. And then again, you can start to fold that forward. You're still going to start to get a stretch through that right hip, which is what we are looking for. And then as much as you can, might sound a little bit silly, but relax into this. It might be really challenging to do that, just depending on what's happening in your body, what you've been doing. Breathing nice and smoothly. And it might be really intense. So just allowing yourself to know if, hey, I actually need to move out of this. It's something that's, you know, I shouldn't be in this position. Or is it just uncomfortable and there's just lots happening around that hip area? So it's kind of like your own teacher and just getting to know your body and what feels right. And your body will tell you. But if it's just uncomfortable, see if you can stay and just breathe. We're not going to be here for too much longer. Hello, Daisy. Hello, Daisy. This is Daisy Dog. She doesn't appear in the videos very much. Good. Take one more breath in and out. And bring the palms down to the shoulders. Press the chest up. Like my uncle, Daisy. Thank you so much. And then pressing back into downward facing dog. You may need to move that right leg around. If you do it. It might just feel nice just to press the hips up. Maybe a child's pose is what you need. They haven't been on their lap yet. I can't say the W word. It has been raining here this morning. Good. Take a breath in. Take the left leg into the air. Breathing out. Step the left foot through, coming up into Warrior Two. Lengthening through the arms. Left knee going the same direction as your toes. Back foot pressing out, reaching through the fingertips. Good. Pressing through that front heel. So nice, strong, stable position. And then pivoting out on the right foot. Bring the palms together. Stay long through the spine and then shifting the upper body forward. So it's like reaching out in front as far as you can. Opening this into peaceful warrior. And then coming into your version of side angle. So it might be forearm to thigh, or you might be all the way down here on the ground, maybe on a block if you have got one handy. The main thing is we can open through that top shoulder, so we're not slumping forward. We want to square the chest to the side. Reach that top arm over. Breathing nice and smoothly. You might start to get a little bit of a challenge here for the breath as we challenge the body. So I'm super tight in my hips at the moment, so it's pretty challenging. And then bring the palms to the mat, setting yourself up for sleeping swan. Just taking your time, lift the chest to start, and then that option, if you want it, folding forward. You may find it feels different from side to side. Just notice that. You don't have to try and pull it apart and figure out why. Pretty normal. I don't like to say that's normal, but we're all not symmetrical. I don't think I've ever met a fully symmetrical person. You may find one side is a little bit tighter, might feel better, might feel easier, might feel more challenging. So all you have to do is just notice that, allow yourself just to come to the breath, just pay attention to the sensations. Taking 3 more breaths. And then gently pressing yourself up, press back to downward facing dog. Take any kind of stillness or movement that you need. And then coming down to the knees, pressing back into a child's pose. And lifting yourself back up, coming onto your buttocks. Bring the feet out in front. And I'm going to take a windshield wiper. Hang on, Aria. It's a great move for your hips. Bringing the knees from side to side. And then having the feet out in front, bring your palms behind you. So it kind of depends on your shoulders and what's happening on how you like to have your hands placed. I like to have mine facing my hips, so facing the butt. Roll the shoulders back, pressing down through your feet. Lift your hips off the floor. Press down through the heels, squeeze your butt, press into your palms and lift your chest up. So this is great for your whole body, engaging the backside of the body and then opening the shoulders up. So we spend a lot of time with our shoulders in internal rotation. This is kind of like the anti-computer, anti-driving shape. Getting this opening through the front side of the body. We're generally quite closed over, whether that's from work or life or stress. And then lower that back down. Let's do that a couple more times. Pressing down through the heels. Squeeze your butt. And again, I'm super tight through my shoulders and the chest. You just want to drop the head back if it feels okay for your neck. Just be mindful of that. Thanks, guys. You might have a dog coming up on you. Hey. All right, let's do that one more time. Good, lifting the hips, squeeze the butt, press through the palms. Breathing. And then lower that down. Come all the way onto your back. Hug the knees in towards your chest. Roll to one side. Doesn't matter which side because you will do the other side. And then roll the shoulders back to the ground. So pretty big spinal twist here. So it's quite strong through the thoracic spine when we have the knees kind of tucked up. So if it's a bit too much, just lower them down. It'll take some of that kind of intensity out. I really like the feeling of that intensity through the thoracic as we open up. And then breathing. I'm just going to hold this for a moment. And you can focus the breath into the top rib cage. So you can bring your palm there if that feels good, and feeling that expansion happen as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, just gently, just naturally letting the breath go. Take 3 more breaths.
Once you've taken those 3 breaths, just gently rolling onto your back. Hug the knees in. Might roll around on the spine or roll up and down the spine. And then we'll move to the other side. So roll everything to the opposite side. Let the shoulders roll back to the mat. And again, just notice the differences. Don't get caught up in them. It's more just about what you're feeling, where you're feeling it, not necessarily why. It's a really great way just to practice concentration. So our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. There's this nice kind of way to continue to bring the mind back. So it'll wander, it'll always do that, always needs something to think about, something to focus on. This is why we come to the breath, we focus on the body. When it wanders, the magic happens when you bring it back. Every time you bring it back, you're strengthening your brain, strengthening those concentration powers. And you're doing wonders for your body as well. And I can hear Daisy eating my Ugg boot, but I'm just going to let that go. Take 3 more breaths. And then gently rolling onto your back. Just take a nice stretch out. And then take a moment in resting position. Spend as much time here as you feel you need. Let the body relax down into the ground. You might be sitting, just whatever feels comfortable for you. If you want to stay for as long as you need. And when you feel ready, coming up to a seated position. Daisy. And just take a moment and thank yourself for making the time to move, to breathe, to stretch, and just to feel into your body. Namaste. Have a beautiful day, evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you next time.